Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I of course am Cassidy and I'm so happy that you guys are here again this week. And if it's your first time, welcome. I'm so happy that you are here. This week's video is another little advice moment, and it's something that I am continuously working on every single day. And I genuinely don't think it will ever be perfect, but I'm definitely at a better place than I was a couple years ago. And that is how to feel comfortable in your own skin. Now let me again start off, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not anybody except a 26-year-old girl with a bit of life experience. And when it comes to body image, girl, I have been through the ringer. I just kind of want to make a video that I wish I could have seen when I was going through kind of the worst of my body image moment. So firstly, let me just say every single body is beautiful. We are all created and are given the ability to feel and breathe and be alive and enjoy our life. And that is the most important thing out of everything. The actual realization that it doesn't matter how much you weigh, it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter what people think about you. We are given the opportunity to wake up every single day and get to choose gratitude that we can breathe and we can move our bodies and we can enjoy our day and our life. Maybe you don't believe it, and some days I for sure don't believe that my body is beautiful. I have these beautiful lungs that give me the ability to speak and sing and laugh, and I have these eyes that get to see the world and these hands that get to create. And I think for me, it's not about weight. You know, weight is such a tiny aspect in the grand scheme of things about how to feel comfortable in your own skin. Now, saying that, this is for me probably the biggest journey of self-love that I have had to go through. I was extremely heavy, and the weight aside, my issue was I was just extremely unhealthy. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't fueling my body in a way that benefited my body. I was drinking way too much. Life is meant to be enjoyed, but there was no downtime. You know, any sort of craving or need for something was immediately met. There was no balance, and in doing so, that made me gain a lot of weight. But at the end of the day, skinny doesn't equal healthy and happy, and curvy doesn't equal healthy and happy. The thing that equals healthy and happy is finding out what works for you. You know, I had a friend who was a curvy girl, and she had this like gorgeous hourglass figure, and she looked so amazing, and she started dating this guy who was like, you need to lose weight, and she loved him, so she was like, oh, okay, like I'll lose weight then. And she lost weight, and she absolutely hated what she saw in the mirror. And she went from this confident, curvy, beautiful, lively woman to feeling so insecure about her body because she didn't like the way she looked anymore. And the thing for me is like, every single person's standard of beauty is completely different. What I think for myself is like my ideal, I'm not there, but I'm much closer than I was, you know, a couple years ago when I wasn't taking care of myself. And that is, for my first point, finding self-love and learning how to feel comfortable in your own skin is a continuous journey. This is not something that you wake up tomorrow and boom, it's done, you're perfect, every day is going to be amazing. I wake up some days, I look in the mirror and I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go to lunch with my friends because I don't feel good. And I've noticed that if I'm not fueling my body or moving my body in a way that benefits me, then I don't feel good about myself. It doesn't matter if I'm skinny, if I'm a bit curvier, it doesn't matter. If I'm not fueling my body and in turn fueling my mind, I'm trapped. It's like getting sucked into a black hole. You know, I just stop liking who I see in the mirror. It's a bit funny, like literally 3 days ago, I'm working on a ship, I think I've said this, so I leave my cabin, and my best friend lives next door, and I literally said to him, I was like, I've never felt better in my body. I was like, I am the hottest person alive, I am amazing, I am healthy, I am fit, and I was so confident that day, and I felt like literally $1 million. The next day, I went to the gym, had a great workout, and then for the first time in a really long time, I weighed myself. And I kid you not, I had a full mental breakdown. I couldn't eat, I was crying because of a stupid number on a scale. it's so silly for me now, like it's been a couple days now, having to find that balance of like reassuring myself that I am doing everything right to the best of my ability, and a number doesn't define my confidence. I just think the juxtaposition between feeling good in my body, feeling confident and comfortable, and seeing a number and having all of that confidence be just shattered like a vase falling on the floor. Like there was shrapnel of glass everywhere, and it was not my day, and I just literally wanted to put sweatpants on and a hoodie, and I wanted it to disappear. And I ended up talking to my boyfriend about it, and he was like, Cassidy, a number doesn't define you. You're doing everything right. Like, I've never taken better care of my body. And literally, like I said, I had never felt so good and confident and comfortable in my own skin, because I have found what my body needs to thrive. Weight training is something that I never thought I would be interested in. I was a cardio girl, just run until you can't run anymore, but I never really saw results. And for my body, I feel strong when I lift weights, and I feel good, and I feel like powerful. And that mental fortitude of being powerful and feeling like I'm in control of my body led to me then being confident and feeling good, and putting on the tighter pair of jeans and feeling sexy in my own skin, putting on lingerie and being like, damn girl, like you look amazing. And I let a number, which is bullshit at the end of the day, literally ruin everything that I had built. And it's why I wanted to do this video, actually, because of what happened the other day, and like how quickly I went from like such a high mountaintop to literally the lowest valley, and all because of a number. But the number doesn't matter. I mean, if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to gain weight, a number can be a really good point to know if you're on the right track or if you're not on the right track. But that number for me just threw me off my track. Because I literally called my boyfriend and I said to him, I was like, why am I doing this if that is what I'm seeing? And he was like, well, you're doing this because you feel good. You feel mentally good. It kept my happiness up, and like I said, feeling like strong in my skin and feeling beautiful. So I've decided not to weigh myself anymore because I'm not going through that again. I just need to go off of how I'm feeling. So that would be my second point, find something that works for you, and don't let a number or a measurement affect all the positive progress that you make mentally by fueling your body and moving your body. Or, some days I don't want to do anything, but that's also taking care of my mental health and my physical health, because there's a reason why I don't. And other days I wake up and I'm like, I can't wait to go to the gym, and I want to eat better because I want to fuel this amazing creature. Like, food is a whole other topic. I've gone through ups and downs and lefts and rights about my relationship with food, and I'm finally at a place where I am in understanding that my body is doing all this amazing stuff to keep me standing and to keep me breathing and to keep me going, that I need to fuel it with things that it needs and it wants, and sometimes that is a cheeseburger with an extra large fry, and I live. But, my body doesn't need that every day. It was learning the difference between something that I really wanted, and it was okay to treat myself and enjoy something, and enjoying something every single day that it was no longer special. That was a really, really tough lesson I had to learn. And it's still an everyday battle when I pick what to eat. But I think that goes back to the first point. It's a continuous journey. One bad day or one not so successful day doesn't mean that all your hard work and all your hard work to find self-love and to feel good in your own skin has been wasted. My third point would be honesty. And I think this was something really, really tough for me, because I was not honest with myself. I was so in denial about how I was treating myself and how I was fueling my body and how I really felt about my body. And it was just completely defensive. I remember I came home and I had a contract on the ship, and I gained 45 pounds in 6 months, like an insane amount of weight. So what is that, like 22 kilo in 6 months? It's so sad, but I hadn't seen my family. I get off the airplane and I'm like, I see my dad, and he walked past me. And I remember being like, Dad, and he turned around and he didn't recognize me. And that was like the first moment where I realized something was wrong, but I was so in denial about it and I was so defensive. The next morning, my mom made me breakfast and I was like sitting there eating my food. She sat me down and she was like, how are you? Like, I'm a little worried about you. And I was like, what do you think? I'm a fatty? You think I'm a fatty? Like, just so defensive. And she was like, Cassidy, no, like, I feel so like sorry now and sorry for myself more than anything, because I was literally like just fragile glass, that this topic was like so intense for me and I was in so much denial about it, and it took me years to finally be able to look at myself and ask myself the question, which is exactly what I did. Cassidy, are you happy? And the answer was no. I was so unhappy. I didn't like the way I felt. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way that I treated myself. I didn't like that I was treating people around me that were trying to help poorly based on a decision that I made for myself. I think there was just so much, like, especially with my family and my friends, like, they just wanted to help, but I was like way beyond helping. Mentally, I didn't want help because I convinced myself that nothing was wrong. And the issue was there was something wrong. Like, for my height and for the weight that I was, it wasn't healthy anymore. And for me, it's not about weight, but it's about health. And I was no longer healthy. And it took me a really, really long time until finally I had that conversation with myself. And I started making, small changes at first. And I wasn't willing to give up fried food, and I wasn't willing to give up, French fries and kind of fattier food. And so I cut out meat. And it was fine, I was a vegetarian for 3 years. And then I met Philip, who like basically studied nutrition and fitness. I didn't have any knowledge about food and how I was fueling my body. And, with working with him, which was also so tough, and I was so hard on him because anytime it would be like I'd ask for help, but as soon as he was trying to help me, I would choose defensiveness. Like, oh, you just think I'm ugly. Why are you telling me I can't eat that? But I was the one who had reached out and asked for help. And that's just that honesty thing. And as soon as you reach that point, that kind of finish line of being like, I'm choosing honesty and I'm going to be honest with myself so that I can, fall in love with what I look like and be comfortable, it's a whole other field. And it also helps your mental health, because I've never felt so good about my like physical body, and in doing so I talk better about myself, even in the mirror in the morning. And that brings me to one of my last points, which is affirmation work. I do this every single day. My first one, I look at what I'm expecting for my day and I choose something. So say I know that I'm going to be having a really stressful work day, that I'm working with somebody I don't really like, and it's going to be really intense. Maybe that day I'm choosing patience, or I choose to give the benefit of the doubt. Or sometimes, maybe one day you had a really draining day with a ton of people and you did a lot of activities, and then the next day, you need a you day, so I choose myself. And I'm going to do things that make myself happy and feel fulfilled. So that's my first one. I do it every single morning. I choose something. I've started asking my family to do it in our group chat. Every day we choose something. It just kind of grounds me into my day. The other affirmation work I do is consistent positivity to myself. I wake up, I look in the mirror, and, I saw this thing on TikTok and it was like, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that bitch, I am gonna go get my bag and I'm not gonna take his shit. And I love it. And it isn't always that, it's a good one that it's a fun little rhyme so you can remember it throughout the day. Every single morning I look at myself in the mirror, and the first time I did it, I cried. I couldn't look at myself in the eyes. And that was when I realized, like, okay, mama needs some work. Like, we need to patch the holes and fill me and my mind with complete, utter self-love. So every day I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you are beautiful. You're beautiful. Or like, oh my god, I love your hair today. Today, I said it to myself this morning. I said, Mama's having a good hair day. Like, I'm living. And that consistent positive talk. And that's why that other day where I weighed myself, it was only negative talk, and I could feel this like energy and life like being sucked out of me, and I was exhausted by the end of the day instead of invigorated and fulfilled and feeling good. So I would every single day choose something, choose an action that will make you feel grounded. And the first step is to tell yourself you're beautiful, because every single person is extraordinarily beautiful. and you deserve to feel it. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was a very personal one to make and something I'm really passionate about. I could talk about it all day. So if you want to hear more about this topic, or you have anything kind of more specific about body image and self-love, just let me know in the comments and I would love to make a video talking about it. Next week, the video will be a confessional, so make sure to tune into that for a bit of a laugh. And until then, have a lovely week. Mwah. Bye.